Very similarly to the primary, we have volunteers knocking on doors around the city. I am doing the same and going to a lot of events, and we're trying to reach as many voters as we can. I think the main difference is that the primary is obviously focused on the Democrats because it was a Democratic primary. And now the number of people that we're reaching out to is much larger because we're also focused on the unaffiliated voters, independent voters, and Republicans out there to try to get our message out there. I think it's not surprising. We have a city of 130,000 people, and New Haven is a place where we have very lively conversations about the direction the city should head in, very lively politics. And at the end of the day, with so many people involved and passionate about the city's direction, you're just likely to have some people that handle the outcome of an election in a very different way than others. I do think when we step back from everything, the overwhelming majority of people that are involved in politics in New Haven, and those that aren't but voted, have not only expressed an opinion through their voting about the direction that they want New Haven to head in, but also about after the election, how we head in that direction. And the overwhelming majority of people feel that it's important to unify and to move forward and move beyond the primary. And we've seen that in the number of endorsements that have come out recently for our campaign that either previously were supporting Mayor Harp or previously were staying out of the election. At the same time, I'm not surprised that there are a small number of people that feel passionate about Mayor Harp, and I think that's their right, absolutely, to feel passionate about Mayor Harp. So much so that they may be reacting in a different way. It's absolutely Mayor Harp's decision to continue on in the race. Mayor Harp was endorsed by the Working Families Party, and her name is on the ballot, and it's her decision whether she wants to keep her name on the ballot or remove her name from the ballot. And I, unlike some other Democrats, I do not disparage her at all for keeping her name on the ballot. I think the issue is that Mayor Harp has said very publicly that she's going to suspend her campaign, and she's chosen not to remove her name from the ballot. But then she has done a number of things that indicate that she's continuing the campaign, and that creates a confusing dynamic for New Haven voters. It creates a confusing dynamic for city employees who don't quite have a lot of certainty around their future. And it also doesn't allow us to move beyond the election and look forward. At the same time, that's a question for Mayor Harp more than it is for me. On the Democracy Fund, I think some of the rhetoric coming from throughout the campaign, the Harp campaign, is really unfortunate because public financing, getting big money out of influencing politics, is something that nationally the overwhelming majority of people believe in. People are tired of PACs, of special interests, of wealthy donors influencing politics. And in New Haven, we're very fortunate as a city to have created a public financing program that allows for large money to not influence politics. And there was a lot of thought that has gone into the creation of this program. I've opted to use this program because I believe in it, and I believe in the importance of it. And it makes it more difficult for me as a campaign, for us as a campaign, to actually raise money. We have limitations on the maximum contributions we can receive. We have limitations on we can't receive PAC money. But nevertheless, I've opted to use public financing because I think it's really important to ensuring that my future government doesn't owe anyone that donated a bunch of money to my campaign. And unfortunately, the other side has really criticized and denigrated the very existence of the Democracy Fund. which is contrary to what Democrats believe, which is contrary to what I believe is the right thing to have more accountable governance in the future. We're abiding by the rules and have gone to great lengths to do that because I believe it's the right thing to do. First of all, I think it's important to be fair, and my campaign went to great lengths to ensure that all of our mailers were focused on policy and not personal attacks. They were focused on records and facts. And we had multiple people review each mail piece to make sure that they were fair. And I, at the end of the day, owned every mail piece that went out. I reviewed them and rejected a number of them and approved the ones in the end that went out. And I stand by that. I think they were fair. And on that specific question, New Haven has faced challenges with inappropriate activity on the New Haven Green for years and years and years. And there are many things that we could have done to improve the situation on the Green, to make sure that people that were struggling with substance abuse had better options instead of waiting for this kind of crisis to happen. So as far as the what I characterize as mismanagement of City Hall, number one, we should have been much more proactive at addressing that problem. Number two, after the 100 overdoses or K2 poisonings occurred, we shouldn't have disparaged a nonprofit that's doing good work in this area, alienated organizations that were working very hard to address an issue that is impacting so many people in our society today around drug use. And I think it's fair to highlight that City Hall could be doing many more things to address substance use, opioid use disorder, K2 poisonings than what we actually have done. And that, of course, it's no one's fault that people are overdosing, or in this case, it wasn't an overdose, it was a K2 poisoning. But there are many ways that the city could be improving the way that they respond to and address issues like that. I think it's critical for both me as a leader, but the success of the city, for me to reach out to people that supported Mayor Harp in this election. It's so important for us to move beyond politics and make sure that for the success of us all, that we work together. And when you step back from some of the political rhetoric of a campaign, you will see that we, in general, in New Haven, agree about the role of government, about how we should address issues around access to job opportunities, affordable housing, transparency and governance. You will see that the vast majority of New Haveners on both sides of the campaign believe we need to do the same types of things to address the problems. And we may have landed on different sides as far as which candidate to support, but because we share so much in common, not only is it the right thing to do to bring people together, but it's going to make us more successful in the long run.